The regular season finale is here.
And as we make it to the precipice of the playoffs, the picture, as of right now, appears to be very clear in terms of the drivers that will make up the bracket for the Season 2 Challenger Cup Series playoffs starting next week. What is unclear at this point is playoff seeding. At this point, we don't know for sure who will be regular season champion. We don't know where every driver will be seated. What we do know coming into tonight, again, is those 16 drivers, but a lot can be decided over the course of the next couple of hours. I want to wish you good evening and welcome in to the virtual Kansas Speedway for round 14 of Season 2 2025 Challenger Cup Series Racing. We're live tonight on PGR eSports. I'm happy to be joining you from virtual Manhattan, Kansas, or Hollywood, Kansas, rather, tonight. My name is Dawson Wise. Happy to be with you on a beautiful Tuesday night, both in the sim and outside the sim. Hope you are enjoying your Tuesday. Glad you decided to spend a little bit of it with us as the camera pans to the Hollywood Casino, overhanging turn number 2. The venue for tonight, one of NASCAR's most exciting tracks, saw one of NASCAR's most exciting finishes of the year on Sunday. Surely we are on tap for something similar here tonight in Kansas. Again, we will set the playoff field over the course of the next couple of hours. And as we head down trackside, so much still to be decided in terms of playoff seeding and the playoff point bonuses that come with it. We're going to head down to the grid and start to meet the field for tonight's running of the Challenger Cup Series race number 14 from Kansas. On the pole, with a pole time of 30.375 seconds. Can't be much of a surprise on a mile-and-a-half racetrack. The pole tonight goes to Harold Watkins. On the outside of row 1, this can't be much of a surprise either. Sporting new colors tonight, the Valvoline Chevrolet. It'll be Ryan Patty in the 30. Now, the storyline with Ryan Patty coming in was some uncertainty on whether or not he would be playoff eligible. The answer I got was no. So Ryan Patty not going to be in the playoffs, but still a lot to race for the driver in the 30. Who picked up another win last week, his 4th of the season, the most in the series in just 7 starts. On row 2, it'll be Matt Hayden in the 5. Top 5 in points coming into tonight, looking to improve his playoff positioning and get up as high as 3rd, headed into next week's playoff opener. He'll go from 3rd tonight to be Andrew Little to his outside the man, 2nd in the points. I don't think he'll catch Harold Watkins for the first spot, but could solidify himself as the number 2 seed starting from outside of row number 2. Row 3, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, another really great another great qualifying effort for the Fitzmaurice machine. It's another car, unfortunately, that will not be making the playoffs, but still a lot to race for him out of the 5th position in the Genesee Beer number 33. This outside will be Travis Everett, the Black Rifle Ford Mustang. Everett coming into tonight, dropping 3 spots last week, down to 8th in the points for Everett. He'll go from 6th tonight, looking to improve his points positioning. Row 4's GT Irizarry in the 14. No wins this season. The highest ranked driver in points without a win on the grid. He'll go from P7 tonight, looking to improve on his 4th place points position. To his outside, it's the Atlanta winner from the opening of Season 2, Stephen Luttrell in the 36. Back on row 5, James Catrone in the 38 made a strong run here in the second half of the season to bump all the way to the 7th spot in points, with several positions ahead of him still available should he get a good finish. He'll start tonight from 9th. Some work to do, but that car's been mighty fast over the past several weeks, and it's Rusty Modesty, the Daytona winner, back several weeks ago early in the season. He'll go from position number 10, looking to improve his position as well. Comes into tonight, 6th in the points. Back on row number 6, it's going to be Harold Rothery in the 7. Alongside him, it will be John Velocity. The story tonight was going to be John Velocity. Would he make enough starts to make the playoffs? Tonight being his 9th start, it's going to be just enough. So Velocity will be in the postseason next week, looking to improve his positioning as well. Back on row 7, it's Garrett Caswell. He'll make the playoffs also in the 77. A good season so far for the rookie. Greg Bourbonier to his outside in 14th. And Brandon Beauchamp rounds out the field in 15th. We're ready to get it going. Watkins brings the field to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're underway from Kansas. And trouble already. It's Ryan Patty that gets turned right in front of Everett. The caution flag comes out immediately, and it's for Ryan Patty. And there's damage to the back of the Valvoline Chevrolet early in this one from Kansas. 120 laps on the board. We could not even get through half before there is contact. And Ryan Patty goes for the first slide of the night. We saw this one happen, so we're going to go high above here and take a look at exactly how this starts. Up at the front of the field, we saw this one happen live. We were just going into turn 1. Hayden coming up, Patty coming down, and they come together on the first seam of the racetrack, and around goes Ryan Patty. Matt Hayden gets a piece of it also. And then Everett's going to punch in the back of that 30 machine. Actually kind of kept him straight. Harold Rothery got sideways just a little bit in the 7. Luttrell Caswell diving out of the way, trying to miss it. So really the heaviest involved Hayden, Patty, and Everett. And really there's no huge damage on any of these race cars. Let's take another look as the field worked down into turn number 1. This was the opening start of the race. You see Hayden's working up, trying to arc his entry. Patty is coming down, trying to do the same thing. And they come together in the same real estate right there in the middle of the racetrack. Patty goes for a slide. Andrew Little, lucky he didn't get involved in this. You see Fitzmaurice dive out of the way. You see Catrone dive out of the way. And there's the hit for Everett right there. As Rothery slides through, Caswell and Luttrell come through as well. And that brings out the first caution of the night. So a fast and furious start. Ryan Patty, similarly to his efforts at Daytona, is on pit road early in the 30 machine. We'll see if he can battle back from it starting on the outside of the front row. 3 laps in at Kansas. Again, so happy that you've decided to join me here on PGR eSports as we wrap up the regular season of the Challenger Cup Series. It's crazy to say that we're already to the end of the regular season, but man, what a crazy season it's been. Some of the great finishes that we've had so far in this season. Obviously, Daytona tops the list. Atlanta tops the list as well from earlier on in the year. Several really, really fun races. Sonoma with the duel between Seipel and Strader, and Chicago with the duel between Strader and Velocity. So many fun battles along the way as we've gotten into the second half of the season. The dominance of Ryan Patty, the emergence of Ryan Patty onto the scene, and just the efforts he's been able to put in. The battle at Bristol a couple weeks ago between several drivers on the way to a victory there. So much happened on the way to this moment this season, and next week's rather, it starts to get a little bit more real. The playoffs begin next week. I'll go ahead and give you the playoff schedule now as we get ready to rack them back up and go back under the green flag. I'll give you what those tracks are right now. We'll start it next week at the Charlotte Roval. You think tonight's going to be chaotic? Have a go at next week on the Charlotte Roval. We'll run 44 laps there, and then we'll cut the field off at Las Vegas the following week from 16 to 8. The round of 8, 2 races long as well, and again, could not be further from each other in terms of style. Talladega Super Speedway on October the 21st. We'll go 75 laps at NASCAR's biggest and baddest, and then Martinsville, the paperclip 200 laps. We'll determine our Season 2 Championship 4. We'll go to battle at Phoenix on November the 4th for 140 laps as we wrap up the season. Then, on November 11th, it's what I'm terming the Challenger Cup Series Grand Championship. We'll take the final 4 from both seasons of this calendar year and let them go to battle for the ultimate Challenger Cup Series crown on the old version of Atlanta on November the 11th. So that's a bit of a look at where we're heading on from here as we get into the playoff portion of the season. Again, the playoff field is all but locked in tonight. There will be 15 drivers in the playoffs. We know who those drivers are. Affected maybe even less than that. We'll tell you at the end of the night. But those drivers now start to look forward to improving their points positioning and making their way into the round of 8. Green flag going to go back in the air here, though. Let's try this again. Lap 5 on the board, 116 laps to go here at Kansas. Stage number 1 going to be concluded at the end of lap 30, and it's a great restart for Harold Watkins. Outback's where the scrambling begins. Caswell jumps in behind Fitzmaurice, who comes forward at 3rd. Matt Hayden trying to take 2nd on this restart. Caswell going to move around just a little bit as Watkins jumps away from the field. The caution flag is out again towards the tail end as Steven Luttrell takes a trip into the outside retaining wall in the 14th position. We'll go back and take a look as the second caution comes out on lap number 5. As to what happened back here to Luttrell, we saw him for a moment on the restart, gets a little loose off turn 2, comes up across John Velocity, and around they go. Luttrell gets the brunt of the outside safer barrier. Again, not a ton of damage on either of these race cars, so we kind of got away with one more time there. Get a better angle of the contact here between those two right there. Luttrell coming back across. Goes across the nose of Velocity. New colors from Velocity tonight, the Think Pink Fuel Fest Chevrolet. Of course, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up in October. Can't imagine that's the camera time that Velocity wanted for that paint scheme to start tonight. Quickly go up top, and then we'll head back under live action. You're going to see it just snaps on him right there. He catches it once. It's going to snap again here off turn 2. And he tries to catch it, and it goes straight right. He's going to nose into the outside wall. Actually got kind of lucky where Velocity hit him right in front of the wheel well. Actually sent him into the safer barrier head on rather than wheel first. So probably avoided some serious suspension damage there on that hit to the wall. Bounces off of it a couple of times, gets back going, and is now on pit road at the service of his pit crew. So again, we will try this one more time. This time 3 cars stay out. Greg Bourbonier, Harold Rothery, and Ryan Patty will stay out on this next restart. Again, still inside of 10 laps complete. We're going to the end of lap 30 in stage 1. To the conclusion of lap 120 is the race distance. 3 green-white checkers available should they be needed. It's a bit of a slow start to this regular season finale. We'll get back going here on lap number 9. Again, it'll be Bourbonier, Rothery, Patty, your top 3. Ryan Patty involved in the incident on lap 1. We'll restart on the inside of row 2, staying out here on this second caution. Then it's all the drivers that came down pit road. Watkins will line up in 4th. Then Matt Aiden and Garrett Caswell back on row 3. Rusty Modesty, Travis Everett on row 4. Andrew Little and Brandon Beauchamp back on row 5. It's been a good season for Brandon Beauchamp. Didn't want to shout him out. I did not get to in the starting grid as much as I wanted to. It's been a good season for the driver of the 15. Had some top 10 and top 5 results this season. Finds himself now in position for a playoff run. Has made the sufficient starts and actually could gain some spots tonight. He actually technically would come into tonight 13th in the points. Obviously, Ryan Patty currently occupies a tie for 12th. But Patty will not be playoff seeded. So in terms of playoff seeding, Beauchamp is actually the 13 seed as they run, but could jump Greg Bourbonier, who currently leads the race, by beating him by 5 points. So potential for Beauchamp to be the 12 seed headed into the playoffs, and from there try to go on a run. Bourbonier going to lead the field back to the restart zone, though. Green flag back in the air. Let's go again. 9 laps on the board. 22 remain in stage number 1. And we're going to almost work 3 wide. Rothery around the outside of Bourbonier. Patty got to the inside of him. And down the back straightaway all of a sudden. And now it's a battle for the lead. Rothery and Patty will battle for it. Rothery holds it, but Patty's trying to get it from him. As they work back into turn number 1, Patty goes to the lead around Rothery now. Caswell looking for 3rd on Watkins, can't get it. Those two have had their interactions this season. So far playing nicely. Caswell rolling up the track, though. He's going to come close to Watkins, and he's going to fence him in the same style as Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace on Sunday. 2 guys come together that we know are not the biggest fans of one another this season. Caswell actually suffers more from that. Watkins holds on to 3rd. Caswell drop back. Rothery's going to get turned. Harold Rothery's going around in the 7. Makes a phenomenal save on the apron and keeps that car moving. Great action here at Kansas as these guys roll back into turn number 3. Patty rolls away with the lead. Caswell actually now looking for 2nd after that whole melee in turn 1. He's to the outside of Hayden. Watkins looking to the inside. Hayden throws the block and plays some defense back down towards turn 1. Watkins going to look anyway. 3 wide for 2nd. Now Now it's back to 2 wide as Caswell bails out. It's Watkins and Hayden that will battle for the second spot. Watkins makes it look easy. Harold Watkins back to second, ahead of Hayden, ahead of Caswell, ahead of Travis Everett, who's up to 5th. Caswell +9 from his 13th place starting spot. Biggest mover of the race, +8 for Bourbonnier, who's settled for now into the 6th position. A couple pretty good movers there as Caswell continues to try to settle in. Ryan Patty ahead by half a second. 108 laps to go at Kansas, 18 laps to go in Stage 1. So Patty continues to lead 4 now as we can finally take a breath for a moment here up front. Don't know how long that's going to last because Watkins and Hayden are both running down Ryan Patty for the race lead. Meanwhile, back here, it is a hornet's nest from about 7th on back. As these guys go 2x2 here into turn 1. Hard sledding for Andrew Little so far, -4 on the night. As he tries to make up some ground. We noted Velocity a moment ago involved in the incident with Luttrell. So these guys continue to be a bit of a hornet's nest. But again, we'll head back up front because these guys are continuing to be under a blanket. They work into turn number 1. Battle is on for 3rd for a moment. Caswell took a peek underneath Matt Hayden. It did not work. Ryan Patty continues to hold serve with the guys behind him. Patty on slightly older tires. In fact, maybe on the same tires. I'm not sure if he took a set when he repaired the damage earlier. So at this point, I'm not really sure if he's on new tires or his starting tires. But right now, holding off Watkins, Hayden, Caswell, and the field. Top 4 driven away from Everett by over a second. Everett's driven away from the pack by over a second himself. Bit of separation here at Kansas, at least up here. The front, Patty just pounded the outside safer barrier. He got it a ton. That car bounced off the outside retaining wall. Meanwhile, change for 3rd. On the move is the rookie, Garrett Caswell. A good rookie campaign for the driver for GTCR Motorsports. And of course, good to see him back in the field. In the familiar black and purple and gold Premier Racing setup GTCR Chevrolet. As of right now, he runs 3rd. Last time by, he was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. We'll see what the case is this time by. It was even for a second, but the caution flag is out again. This time, I think it's for Bourbonnier and Beauchamp, and it is. A pair of drivers separated by only 4 points coming into tonight and have found each other on the racetrack as well. In an incident off turn number 4. Oh, Beauchamp got the wall, came back across the nose of Bourbonnier, and they both got the outside wall. They got it pretty good, too. Ooh, Beauchamp goes up and gets it again. So a pair of cars involved in this one. And it's pretty similar to kind of what we've seen to this point in the race, and that's just these cars can bite you. You'll see Beauchamp slide here just a little bit right there. He'll get up out of the groove just a little bit. He's going to get the wall. And when he comes down, he's trying to stay off Jimmy Fitzmaurice as well. And Bourbonnier is already committed to the outside lane. Big hit right there for Beauchamp right off the front end. Bourbonnier goes in flush on the right side. Beauchamp's going to get it a couple more times. Once here. He's going to get it with the back end as well, and then he's going to get it again with the front end at the end of this. So, a tough break for those two. We'll get one more angle of it as they work their way off turn number 4. You're going to see it back there at the tail end. These two cars come to rest just under the starter's stand. Both with pretty severe front end damage. They'll have to get repaired. Not sure at this point what happened to GT Irizarry. It didn't really register on my timing and scoring exactly kind of what went down with the 14, but he is 5 laps down on lap 20. So I'd imagine some kind of technical issue occurred for Irizarry, and that's why he is so far off the lead lap. But he gets one of them back here, and we'll continue to try to chip away at it with just over 100 to go at Kansas Speedway. So we'll have 9 laps to go in stage 1, a bit of a sprint to the end, with some cars that really could use the points. Obviously, Ryan Patty looking for checkered flags. He told us that last week at Loudon, that he was just looking for wins at this point in the season, knowing that he probably wasn't going to be in the playoffs. He currently leads the field over Harold Watkins, who likely has locked in the regular season title just by starting tonight's race. He might have locked it up last week, actually. But continues to run well. He's in the 2nd spot. Garrett Caswell came into tonight 11th in the points, but pretty far behind anyone in terms of making something happen. We'll have to see how the points dole out next week. He was only 38 points back of Cody Eldred. It'll be curious to me how much he gains by starting tonight's race. Notably, Caswell, one of the top drivers in the series in stage points. Coming into tonight, only 3 drivers had more stage points than the 77. Harold Watkins, who's racked up 90. Christian Schrader, who racked up 65. And Andrew Little, who racked up 59. Caswell had 57 coming into tonight's race, looking to add to that total. Could actually get himself as high as as high as 3rd in that category. He could pass Andrew Little if he's able to secure 3 stage points right here. So a really good season for Caswell in terms of his stage results. His race finishes just have not matched that. Coming into tonight, 5 top 10s in 13 races. 5 top 10s in 10 starts. So a 50% top 10 rate, but only 2 top 5s. So the finishes just have not been what he had wanted, hoped for. But still getting the results in the stages has put him in a very, very good points position heading into his first playoff run in the series. You're going to take a lot of drinks of water tonight. I'm trying to preserve the voice. It's not at 100%, but we're trying our best. Patty into the restart zone. 9 laps to go in stage 1. Green flag back in the air. Patty gets off and running, but Watkins timed it okay. They'll likely drop in here behind Patty. Not going to have an opportunity. Caswell to the inside of Watkins again. These two have some history. They don't really like each other that much, I guess you could say, if you want to put it bluntly. And Caswell, this is why. Caswell likes to race Watkins hard. And so far, that's exactly the story. Throws it into turn 3 underneath the 3 car, trying to get to the 2nd spot. He will clear up on Harold Watkins. And Garrett Caswell's got himself a little bit of a rocket ship here tonight in the Plains. So Caswell moves to P2. Watkins will settle for 3rd. Hayden is up to 4th, but he battles for that spot now with Everett here off turn 2. Coming back 7 laps to go in this opening stage. Caswell being hounded from behind, not able to keep up with the short run pace that Ryan Patty has underneath the hood of that race car. We'll go back here to these battles. Everett's trying to get around 2 at once, actually. He's gotten around Matt Hayden all but, and now he's going to try to take a shot on Harold Watkins as well, running up near the fence. Catrone is up there as well. 2 of the first drivers to run that far up the racetrack, and they're finding success so far. Move Everett to position number 3. He's on the move. We go back to the bottom here in turn 3. Caswell blinks. Comes back. Everett in line with him. Watkins in line with both of those cars. And here goes Everett to the outside of Caswell. This is for 2nd. Caswell going to run him out towards the fence, but I think that's exactly where Everett wants to be. And he will likely drive around the Caswell machine here down the back straightaway, and he will move Everett to 2nd. Travis Everett. How about it for the Black Rifle Ford Mustang Dark Horse? As he goes to 2nd, Watkins throws it up there now. He's going to experiment with the outside lane. You see Velocity further back. He's in the 7th spot, also experimenting. Harold Rodriguez on the move. How about the Busch Lime Chevrolet Camaro going for the 5th spot, or 4th spot rather, on Watkins. Rodriguez on rails. Couple cars coming through the field here late in the stage. 5 to go in stage 1 as Everett tries to run down Ryan Patty. You are watching what was the battle for 4th. as Watkins slides the wrong way. We'll have to wait and see if the Mountain Dew, good Chevrolet, will find the long run pace over the course of tonight's event. Little, meanwhile, battles velocity. That is for 7th. As Watkins takes a look on Rothery again for another shot at the 4th position. 4 laps to go, stage 1. Rothery all the way to the white line. Watkins up on the outside against the wall. And as he's starting to gain some of that ground back here off turn 2, he'll cross over, gets a nice run off the tail end of the back straightaway. Will dive to the white line in 3. The battle continues here in turn 3. He's going to try to throw a slider. Contact with Rothery. No harm, no foul. They all go forward. Watkins gets the spot. Rothery, can't imagine he's too terribly happy, but cedes the spot again still early in the race. Great racing back here amongst these guys. Everett has not been able to make a ton of headway on Ryan Patty. Not enough to catch him for the stage win, certainly. So continue to watch that timing on the left side of your screen. Watkins to the inside of Rothery. Now Little looking to the inside of Rothery. Harold Rothery, a big bobble there on entry. He's really struggling here. He's going to lose several positions and go all the way back to the 9th spot. Meanwhile, how familiar is this? Ryan Patty continues to lead the field. Turn 2 at Kansas. Everett is trying to get there. He's just not going to have enough time. I think he's found something for sure on later runs in terms of speed, but just not going to have the time to get there on this go. As off turn 4 now, he starts to lose a little bit of time to Patty. Lap 30 up on the board. Next time by, it will be the stage break for stage 1. And now Patty's gone to the fence. He finds speed up there too, and actually Everett's going to try to move out of that groove and find speed elsewhere because now the air is different up there. Ryan Patty's moved up to the wall, and now he's trying his hand at rolling up there. Now he's not really running with the pace that Everett had. Everett actually making some hay on the bottom. But not going to be enough hay to get to Ryan Patty. Patty crosses the line. He wins stage 1. Another stage win for the driver of the 30. Going to be Everett, Caswell, Watkins, and likely Andrew Little, depending on who got that last spot. It's either Little or Hayden. I think it's the 68 that got the final stage point. That concludes stage number 1. From Kansas Speedway, as Ryan Patty gets the stage victory. Another one in his illustrious begin to his Challenger Cup Series career. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a step away. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's the conclusion from Kansas Speedway. You won't miss the thing. We'll go PGR nonstop, so you can see the yellow flag cycle of pit stops. We'll be right back for stage 2 and the conclusion of the regular season finale.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing. Three by 3. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. Finish. Who gets it at the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We will run! We will run! Ladies and gentlemen, we got
The monkey has prime!
this season, we are hydrated!
The official sports drink of the UFC. It's time! Oh, that's good.
full of simulators, and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
But you feel like you're really driving, it feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing.
3x3.
Welcome back to Kansas Speedway for the conclusion of the regular season finale. We've got 86 laps to go at Kansas. Ryan Patty is your leader, with Travis Everett in second. Then it's Garrett Caswell, Harold Watkins, Andrew Little, Matt Hayden, the top 6, followed by Rusty Modesty, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, John Velasquez, and Brandon Beauchamp, your top 10. Green flag back in the air with 86 laps to go, and away we go from Kansas. Patty has led most of the opening stage, of course, after being involved in a lap 1 wreck. Let's see if he can continue on with that dominance as we get here into stage number 2. Everett through on the inside. He's got second. Caswell is going to get up in front of Watkins for third, and that's where we'll head with our attention here into turn number 3. Ooh, Caswell, big slide there in turn 3, but makes it work. On the inside behind Everett as they run single file down the front stretch. Caswell to the apron, going to look for second on Everett. I think Everett's speed is better on the long run. Caswell's is better on the short run. Watkins will follow him through, move Caswell again to position number 2. The backstretch headed for turn 3. As Patty jumps away. We'll again turn our attention back here to the third spot. Watkins underneath Everett. Hayden going to go underneath him as well. These guys work off turn 4. See if these guys don't get into a bit of a green flag run now, man. Everett's car just is struggling really bad on the short run speed. Restarted second. He's all the way back in 5th. The opening couple laps of this restart. Just does not seem to have what he needs on the short run, but his car comes to life later in the run. As the race goes on, we'll see how that benefits him now that we can get into potentially a long green flag run. We'll see how that benefits the driver of the 13. Garrett Caswell's not letting Ryan Patty go quietly into the night here, as he's trying to make a race of it for the race lead. Again, Patty has won 4 times this season. Watkins Glen, Richmond, Darlington, and New Hampshire. The 4 wins for Ryan Patty. Caswell's yet to win in his debut season, but is putting the pressure, trying to put the pressure on Ryan Patty right now from the second spot. He's better over here in 1 and 2, I noticed. In that middle lane, this time doesn't really gain a lot at all. And now he starts to really lose time. So it appears Ryan Patty's car has jumped to life here in stage number 2 in Ryan Patty fashion. Watkins, Hayden start to run down the Caswell machine for second. Again, these top 4 have driven away. This time Andrew Little is the next car, as he too got around Travis Everett. So Everett going to have to rely on that long run speed later to pull him through this race. 80 laps to go, a third of the way into this one. Again, 120 laps, one of our, I would say, shorter race distances of the season, and it would be. Only about 180 miles tonight. It is one of the shortest race distances of the year to this point. And they'll tick them off pretty quickly, running about 30 or 31 second lap time, so they'll tick them off pretty quick as well. So man, Ryan Patty, that was a big slide right there off turn 2. As he tries to stay ahead of Caswell, but starts to drive away again. The battle will go back here for second. As Caswell's being hounded here by Harold Watkins. Down into turn 1. Does Watkins take a look? Can actually go the other way. Going to go up to the outside, try to carry speed, get on his right rear, and pull him backwards. That's exactly what he does. Move Watkins to second. Caswell to third. Caswell lean into turn 3, but no dice for the left rear of the 3. We'll keep it here, because Matt Hayden's not far behind this one either. Andrew Little struggling badly here in the 5th spot. Must have gotten the wall. Something happened to the 68. He's being run down. We'll go back up here to where the battle is continuing for 2nd through 4th. Ryan Patty by 6/10 over Watkins, Caswell, and Hayden. And then another 2.1 seconds back to Andrew Little. Caswell brushed the wall in the exit of turn 4. His house looking at timing and scoring, and Matt Hayden goes by. That's for 3rd. Hayden has yet to win here in this season after winning a couple of times last season. He's yet to win here in season 2, but came into tonight 5th in the points. As of now, would overtake GT Irizarry with Velocity and Luttrell both 1 lap down. Unsure what happened to those 2 cars. They look clean. Not sure what happened to either of those 2 guys, but with those 2 now 1 lap down, Irizarry's path is now infinitely more difficult with almost 50 laps complete. That he'll get back into this race. It's likely that Hayden will overtake Irizarry for that for the 4th position in points. In fact, Hayden may jump 2 spots with no Christian Schrader in the field tonight. It is likely that Hayden will go all the way to the 3rd spot in points, headed into the Roval next week. So a 3 seed for Matt Hayden, as he looks for a championship run here in season 2. Patty has turned the burners on up front and driven away by 1 second over Harold Watkins here on lap 48. Not a lot of battling on the speedway. Everybody is very spread out. I'm not really surprised, I should say, that this race has kind of taken a green flag look to it now that we've got some laps under our belt and that everybody is spread out running different lines. I was going to go back and focus on the battle for the 8th spot. That has dissolved before I get back there. Let's go back and look at the battle for the 7th position. And that's where you'll find Rusty Modesty on the move. The Daytona winner, the Sinclair Toyota, trying to go by Harold Rothery for the 7th position, as Modesty tries to climb the running order and go forward. $50 laps up on the board. Next time by 70 to go. Already 10 laps away from halfway. We'll have to see when the pit stop is as well. Modesty to the bottom. This is for 7th. And he'll get up alongside Rothery here down the backstretch. We get alongside Rothery, go by and make the pass, and he's up to 7th now. Is Rusty Modesty. Beauchamp on the attack. We'll keep it here. This is for 8th. No, we will not keep it here. We'll go up front to the developing battle for the 2nd spot. Watkins on the outside. Matt Hayden, the Oakley Chevy, on the inside. Making a run for position number 2. Could this be the night for Matt Hayden in Challenger Cup Series competition? That car is sporty so far, as he tries to continue his good effort. Last time by, even with the leader on lap time. This time by, a little bit slower for Matt Hayden. A lot slower for Harold Watkins in 3rd. It does not appear that Watkins has the long run pace tonight compared to the 2 in front of him. Meanwhile, Travis Everett has been logged back in 6th. Really the entire run. It doesn't show a whole lot of sign of having that car jump to life like it did a moment ago, so. Matt Hayden continues to run 2nd. We'll keep an eye on lap times between him and the leader. The split last time, again, a little slower for Matt Hayden. Fastest car on the track was Patty. 2nd fastest was Everett, so he's trying to make up the time. He's just kind of spotted the leaders a little more than I think he would have liked to. Off turn 4 again. 67 to go. Battle on for 4th. Hard-charging Andrew Little, the Bristol winner from a couple weeks back. His first win of the season and 2nd on a short track in the 2025 calendar year. Little trying to wrap up his regular season on a good note. And continues to run side by side here with Caswell for the moment. Now we'll clear him, and Little's up to the 4th spot. So Andrew Little's on the move. Ooh, drives right across the nose at Caswell there. Throws some bad air on the 77. .65 to go. Patty by 1.67, making 1.7 seconds over Ryan Patty, and driving away, or excuse me, over Matt Hayden, and continues to drive away. Only one car that Ryan Patty is not currently driving away from, and it's Travis Everett in the 6th spot. You see on your screen now, going after Garrett Caswell for 5th. Ooh, something's happened to Rusty Modesty. Seems to be a technical problem, a connection issue, and it appears Rusty Modesty will have to bow out for the moment. We'll see if he gets back on track in a moment and retains his spot. Move everyone around him up 1 as Patty continues to lead the way. Pit stops on lap 58. Patty, Rothery, and Bourbonnier will kick off the opening cycle. As Matt Hayden inherits the lead, but for how long will these guys all pit this time by? And they will. Here comes Hayden. Oh, no, he spins it. Matt Hayden spins it. He's got to lock it down, and he's going to get the wall. Matt Hayden slides onto pit road, gets the inside wall. And has left front damage on the Oakley Chevrolet. So he will have to likely take a fast repair. We'll see if he goes the fast repair route. Now he missed his box, too. Boy. Bad to worse for the Hayden machine. Watkins, Hayden, Little, Everett, Caswell, Beauchamp on pit road this time. Jimmy Fitzmaurice had stayed out for an extra lap. So did James Catrone. Ryan Patty, meanwhile, re-inherits the lead on lap 59. And, folks, it is not close. In fact, it is very much not close. Hattie Watkins Little will cycle out as the top 3. Caswell will cycle out 4th. 9+ seconds behind the race leader. Just not a lot going on now on the speedway. It's battling here. As Matt Hayden comes off pit road, he is 2 laps down. By the way, GT Arizuri temporarily is 4 down. See if he can get it back to any closer than that. But inside of halfway, and with everybody so spread out, just don't see it happening at this point. Velasquez, I don't think it's come to pit road yet. Beauchamp goes by him. That's for 6th. Luttrell, I think, is in the same boat. I don't think he's come to pit road either. Catrone has, so he'll lean to the inside. This will be for 9th. Lassie on pit road this time by one of the final cars that had to pit. Luttrell continues to run. This is the closest battle on Kansas Speedway right now. Luttrell will pit right here. That's the final car to pit on this cycle, and that will complete the first green flag pit cycle of the night. Battle for second continues with just 55 laps to go. As Watkins trying to hold off Andrew Little. Again, there are just no other battles on the speedway right now. A lot of cars have had misfortune. We talked about Velasquez and Luttrell earlier. We talked about Irizarry earlier. Rusty Modesty managed to only go 1 lap down in his bit of chaos. Travis Everett is now a lap down after an incident on pit road, likely a penalty that has afflicted the Black Rifle Mustang. So he's now 1 lap down. We saw Matt Hayden go 2 laps down after his spin, getting onto the pit lane. So a number of cars experiencing some hardship here at Kansas. Andrew Little's moved up to the fence. One of the first drivers to try it on this second run. Not paying a ton of dividend for him right now. We'll see if it benefits as the run goes on. Again, we just pit about lap 58, so it's only been about 11 laps of tire run here. So these guys continue to work. And this continues to be the battle for the second spot. Tend to watch the battle for the second position. Again, not really anything else going on the Speedway right now. I'll give you a full field rundown, though, while we're at it. Kind of show you where everybody's at. Ryan Patty's driven away by 8 seconds over the remainder of the field. He continues to lead the way on lap 71. Well on the way to potentially another victory. It will be his 5th in 8 starts, which is an unprecedented number in league racing. It's been another dominant effort for him tonight. Looks to finish it off. Clean on, clean off pit road. The first time since the incident on lap 1. It's been pretty straightforward for the driver of the 30. Harold Watkins runs in the second position. Well on his way to locking up a regular season title. Second straight for him. He'll sweep them here in 2025. Look for a championship run. Look to go one spot better in the postseason than last postseason, where you could argue he probably should have come away with the title. Ended up one spot short. Looking to make good on that this time around in season 2. Runs right now in the second position. Andrew Little won Bristol a couple weeks ago. It's put some pep in his step as he runs back in the third position. Well-positioned second in the points to make a deep playoff run himself. Martinsville being in the round of 8. If he can get there, Martinsville, the track that he won at back in Season 1, could very well be an opportunity to put himself in the Championship 4 if he plays his cards right. And he runs in the third spot right now. Little, a good season for him so far. Looking to wrap the regular season on a good note and head on into the postseason. Speaking of guys running on good notes right now, Garrett Caswell is solidly in the 4th position. And the GTCR Motorsports entry, again, going to be making his debut in the Challenger Cup Series playoffs. Will likely gain at least one spot, maybe a couple. Let's see how the points pan out here tonight. He got stage points back in Stage 1, so we'll see how it pans out. He runs back in the 4th spot. Then Harold Rothery. How about the run for the Busch Lime Chevy as he runs in the 5th position right now. Great run for the bright green number 7. As he continues to have his own good run. By the way, he's going to be playoff racing starting next week. 11th start of the year tonight. It's good enough, and he's in the point standings as well. So Harold Rothery ending his regular season as of right now on a good note. Jimmy Fitzmaurice runs back in the 6th spot. Had a good run going last week at New Hampshire. Kind of got derailed when he was involved in an incident. So far, so good at Kansas, though, so he is in the 6th position. Brandon Beauchamp in the High Rock Chevy runs back in 7th. Beauchamp making his playoff debut next week as well. In the 15, looking to make a playoff run. Headed to the Roval next week. Then it's James Catrone in 8th. Not the night I anticipated for him. Thought he was going to kind of come on with some speed. He's actually the next car to get lapped by the leader, Ryan Patty, here in just a moment. You see Patty on the right side of your screen. Has not been a night to remember for Catrone so far. He'll be the first car one lap down in 8th here momentarily. But the Oscar Mayer Chevy will enter the playoffs on a pretty good run the second half of the season. Looking to make a playoff run starting next week at the Roval. Greg Bermanier runs back in 9th. First car as of right now, one lap down. The Miller Lite Toyota will be playoff racing as well. Headed into next week, he runs 9th on the Speedway right now. Decent run going for him. Saw the technical issue to Rusty Modesty. He is also 1 lap down, back in the 10th spot, the Daytona winner. Kind of gone a little bit quiet since that Daytona win several weeks ago. Could turn it on at any point. Talladega coming up for Modesty, a track he runs well at. Las Vegas, also a track I expect him to run pretty well at. He runs 10th right now, as he's hanging right behind Garrett Caswell, who's on the lead lap. Travis Everett runs in 11th. He was top 5 for all night long and had an issue on the pit cycle last time around, so he runs back in the 11th spot now, just trying to salvage what he can. He came into tonight the 8th spot in points. I don't think he'll lose that position. In fact, Stephen Luttrell's the next car back, then Cody Eldred, then Garrett Caswell. So Everett cannot go any lower. Was hoping to bypass James Catrone. He will not do that tonight either. So for Everett, the incident on pit road, he's going to have a caution if he wants a chance to get back into this one. 12th, Stephen Luttrell, the Atlanta Motor Speedway winner, came into tonight 9th in the points. Is not going to lose much ground to Travis Everett or James Catrone or Rusty Modesty for that matter. And will gain some ground on guys like Hayden and Irizarry and Velocity. So Luttrell trying to salvage what he can. You want to talk about salvaging? Matt Hayden nosed into the inside wall on pit road. The Oakley Chevys dropped 2 laps off the pace and is in the 13th position on the speedway as they run. Hayden came into tonight 5th in the points. Will not pass GT Irizarry with the effort he's got going tonight. He will probably still pass Christian Strader. I think the best he can get to is 4th in the point standings. One last car on the speedway, 4 laps down, is GT Irizarry. We talked about the issue he had earlier. I believe it was technical in nature as well. He has gone 4 laps down to the leaders and runs back here by his lonesome in 14th. Tough night for Irizarry, who started from the 7th spot. He'll go into the playoffs next week. As of right now, he was 4th in the points. We'll see if he stays there. A good season for him, looking to continue on to the playoffs, but not a night to remember for him ending the regular season. 1 car out of tonight's race, and that is John Velocity. Meanwhile, Harold Watkins, Ryan Patty, Andrew Little, Jimmy Fitzmaurice kick off our second cycle of green flag pit stops. And a penalty, I believe, here on Ryan Patty. And hold everything. Ryan Patty sitting in his pit box. He is still sitting there. Watkins and Little have both left. Well, Watkins actually just getting into his box. Patty continues to sit. He's already gone 1 lap down. And a devastating blow to the hopes for win number 5 for Ryan Patty. Come here on this second cycle of stops. Let's go take a look as we cycle through and try to figure out what happened to the Ryan Patty machine on pit road. Let's go take a quick look back. He was in his box for a long time. A little lockup after the line tells me speeding. So likely a speeding penalty, and Ryan Patty is well now off the pace. 1 lap down in the 30s, so he's going to need some help now as well. James Catrone, Rusty Modesty staying out long on this cycle as they try to get something going here and figure something out. Catrone coming to pit road, trouble in front of him. I thought it was the Rusty Modesty machine. It might have been Matt Hayden. No, it wasn't Hayden either. Catrone had somebody spin in front of him, but I couldn't tell who for the life of me it was. Nonetheless, that'll hand the lead back to Andrew Little, and his lead over, or excuse me, to Harold Watkins. His lead over Andrew Little is 2.2 seconds. The second cycle is complete, and the lead now is Garrett Caswell still on pit road, so a problem now for the 77. Boy, guys getting bit on pit road tonight. Now Caswell's the latest one. Hayden gets bit again in the 5. He may have called it a night. Man, only 7 cars on a lead lap. So just 33 to go, likely only one pit stop left at this point, somewhere around the lap 100 mark. And Harold Watkins and Andrew Little, they look behind him, and boy, a cushion is a bit of an understatement. A 16-second lead from second to third as guys continue to get bit on pit road. Luttrell, Beauchamp, Caswell, the latest casualties on pit road, leaves just 7 cars on the lead lap. Watkins tries to hold off Andrew Little, who I think has been a little better on the long run. We'll see if he's got enough time to make up the gap or if he'll have to settle for second. Ryan Patty is actually back to 5th. He's on the lead lap on the tail end. Certainly not the night that the 30 machine wanted, though, so unfortunate for him. But a penalty on pit road for the 30 as well. Rare mistake. I feel like we don't see many of those mistakes out of Ryan Patty, and tonight we get one, and it costs him in a big way. Watkins by 3 seconds. No real battles on the speedway right now. Ryan Patty is still fast. I just don't know if he'll get to another car. He's 5 seconds back of Jimmy Fitzmaurice and 8 seconds back of Harold Rothery. I don't know if he'll make that up or not. He might have to make it up on pit road. We'll see how that pans out when we get there. But Watkins' lead continues to stabilize over Andrew Little. It's right about 2.6 seconds. He separated just a little on pit road and has now used that to his advantage, driving away just a little bit. Get back, it'll be 27 to go. The window will open here in about the next 5 or 6 laps to make it to the end of tonight's race on a tire/fuel run. So we're nearing the end of tonight's festivities, as this race has really mellowed out since the beginning. Some chaos in the early stages, but it has alleviated here in the middle portions and has left us with not a lot in terms of cars left on the lead lap, so Catrone trying to stay on the lead lap. Watkins trying to put him 1 lap down. And he will do so here in turn 1. 25 laps to go at Kansas. Again, 1 pit stop to go If I'm Andrew Little, I think I try to undercut Harold Watkins here and hope for the best. Hope he can get off pit road quicker than he can. He's now lost about a half a second and is 3.2 seconds back of Watkins' machine. Patty has pulled to within 3 seconds of Fitzmaurice and 6.5 or 6.8 of Rothery, so he's gaining on the next two in front of him, but again, it's going to be a little tough to get there by the time the race ends. Keep an eye on that as he tries to continue to run down at least a couple more spots, salvage something out of his night. 6 cars on the lead lap. Bourbonier is actually next one up on the chopping block of the lead lap. That would leave us with 5 cars on the lead lap should Watkins get there. The lead now ballooning up towards 4 seconds. 22 laps to go. Watkins, the winner at Gateway 3 weeks ago. The winner at Iowa back in race number 6. And looking to cap off his regular season with a 3rd win headed into the playoffs. Now a 4-second lead with 21 to go. We wait the final green flag pit stop. As Watkins continues to lead the way. Inside of 20 to go. Patty's within 0.6 of Fitzmaurice. Let's go back here. As he tries to get at least one more spot. Oh, man, but he knocks the fence down there on the exit of turn number 4. We'll see if he can get this 4th position. This will be the battle for 4th here momentarily, and then it'll be open range for Patty to try to get up to Harold Rothery in 3rd. He's only 5 seconds back of Rothery. Might be able to make it happen. We'll see. The pit stop's still to come as well. So if Patty can make up time on pit road, obviously that will help also. And on pit road, and it's Andrew Little, and he's going to undercut, but Watkins matches him. Little comes a lap before Harold Watkins. I don't know how much it will affect things. As Little's down and off the jack. Let's see what the call is for Watkins on pit road. This is going to be the money stop for the good Mountain Dew Chevrolet. Patty got by Fitzmaurice, now trying to run down Rothery. He's only 4 seconds back of him. Into the pit box goes Watkins. What's the call on the 3? It's at least right side tires. Does he go up on the jack on the lefts? No, he gets rights and drives away, so it's 2 for both drivers. We see where Andrew Little comes off of the pit lane cycle. Watkins just now on the apron of turns 1 and 2. Little not even on the banking yet. I don't think it's going to be quite enough to undercut him as much as Little wanted to, but he's going to get pretty close. It'll be about a 1.5 seconds difference, but it won't be enough to fully undercut the Harold Watkins machine. As of now, Ryan Patty leads the way. A couple more cars have come to pit road. And Now Patty comes to pit road, so he'll cede the lead. Bourbonier going to stay out, though. So is James Catrone. So should we get a timely caution for these two, that would help. But as of right now, they're just going to run a little bit long. The lead already 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 for Harold Watkins almost to Andrew Little. So he's driving away immediately. We'll keep an eye on the Bourbonier and Catrone machines. Bourbonier by 4.6 seconds over Catrone. Watkins is third. Bourbonier going to bring that car to pit road this time by with 15 to go. Catrone stays out. And Watkins will go by him here on the front stretch. 2.6 back to Andrew Little as Watkins re-inherits the lead with 14 to go at Kansas. So the cycle comes and goes, and so far, so good for Harold Watkins. Decent chance Ryan Patty may get a podium out of this, depending on where James Catrone comes off pit road. Rusty Modesty is yet to pit, same with Travis Everett. Bourbonier's on pit road now. Patty's going to get that spot. May very well end up with a podium finish out of this. So, a turbulent night for Patty, more so than his previous starts. Watkins continues to lead the way. We're about to be inside the final 12 laps. Watkins re-inherits the lead. Catrone's going to bring the 38 to pit road, it looks like this time by, so he'll drop off the pace. Rusty Modesty, he's going to also come to pit road, and that will more than likely hand the third spot over to Ryan Patty once he comes all the way around. He's currently just now on the backstretch, so. Coming back to the start-finish line. Watkins at the line. 10 more laps around Kansas for win number 3. Patty cycles forward to third. And what's got to be a Challenger Cup Series record, 27 seconds behind the leader. And he'll end up with a podium. Some smoke off turn 4. Not sure exactly what happened there. Obviously did not draw a caution. Didn't even draw anything on my timing and scoring in terms of who crashed. So I'm not sure exactly what the case was there, but Watkins going to go by Rothery. That's going to leave only 3 cars on the lead lap as we hit 8 laps to go. There have been very few races like this in the Challenger Cup Series since I began my tenure here. Seven laps to go this time by for Watkins. The lead waned a little bit from 3 seconds down to 2.7. It's as close as Andrew Little has been able to get, though. He's not been able to trim any more than that on the lead of Harold Watkins. Watkins may have backed off his pace just a little. Just trying to hit his marks, make it to the end of this thing, and move on to the playoffs as a 3-time winner and the regular season champion. Little trims it again, this time down to 2.5, and just doesn't have enough laps running the pace they're running right now to get there, but is definitely going to make it interesting. Well, made it interesting for a moment, lost a lot there in turn 3. 5 out the flag stand, that means 5 laps to go. And Watkins has taken over in the absence of Ryan Patty as he has gone the wrong way with a problem on pit road. Likely would be in position to win this race, but as of right now, continues to be that green and white number 3, cruising to win number 3 on the season. Little cuts it down to 2.6, loses some more ground in turn 3, trims it again, but again, just not enough laps. 4 laps to go this time by, barring something crazy happening. It's probably not going to see much else. Off turn 4. 3 laps to go. And Watkins is just hoping to see the white flag. Not that he would have much challenge in terms of cars behind him that could win. Most of the field now is 1 lap down, but he's hoping to get back to the white flag, make the race official, and we'll move on to the Charlotte Roval and begin the run to the postseason. Ryan Patty going to try to stay on the lead lap here. He is just in front of the leader, Harold Watkins, as they work off turn number 4. Popsicle sticks for Watkins this time by 2 laps to go at Kansas. He comes around one more time. It'll make the race official. He will be cruising to his 3rd win of the year. Back in championship form, it was not the first 5 weeks to remember for Harold Watkins like it was in Season 1. But certainly has risen back to form since the win in Iowa in race 6. White flag is up, 1 lap to go at Kansas. Andrew Little is hanging around in the case of a fatal mistake. But Watkins does not appear to be running hard enough to make one of those. 5 wins a season ago. This will make a total of 8 on the calendar year and ready to start another championship effort. 2nd in the playoffs in Season 1. He's looking to go 1 spot better. What better way to enter the playoffs than the way he did it a lot last season? Off turn 4, Harold Watkins dominates the second half and wins at Kansas. In a season that will end for Watkins with 3 wins, 9 top 5s, and 11 top 10 finishes. It ends in the best way it could possibly end for him, in a trip to victory lane. He'll come around to the front straightaway. And as we customarily do, we'll give him the opportunity. Harold Watkins burning it down on the front stretch at Kansas. So Harold Watkins concludes his celebration here at Kansas Speedway, and that will now take us. We'll actually leave that up there. That will take us into our finishing results, and we'll talk to your top three here in just a moment. They're staging themselves in the waiting room. So we will get through the finishing results here from Kansas. The regular season is officially over in the Challenger Cup Series here in Season 2 of 2025. And here's how they finished in the final regular season race from Kansas. Harold Watkins wins at Kansas's third win of the season in race number 14. He'll enter the playoffs as the regular season champion. Andrew Little finishes second, will finish second in the points as well. Great run for the 68. Ryan Patty recovers not only from a wreck on lap 1, but from a pit road penalty halfway through this race. Led a lot of laps, but will come home with a third-place finish. Harold Rothery, his best run of the season tonight in the 4th spot for the 7. He'll go playoff racing next week, and what a great way to end off his regular season. And Jimmy Fitzmaurice picks up a top 5 in 5th as well in the 33. Great run for him. Greg Bourbonier, good run for the 00 and a big-time improvement season for the Miller Lite Toyota. He'll go playoff racing next week as well. So, too, will James Catrone back in 7th. Rusty Modesty won at Daytona. He's playoff racing in 8th. So is Travis Everett in the 9th spot. Not the night to remember for Everett after the problems on pit road earlier, but we'll get to reset next week in the playoffs. The Atlanta winner, Stephen Luttrell, finishes 10th. Brandon Beauchamp back in the 11th spot. GT Oziri was never able to recover from the issues early in the race. He'll finish in the 12th spot. Garrett Caswell exited tonight's race early. Tough break. He was running top 5 most of the night. He'll finish in 13th. Matt Hayden had a pit road incident. He spun and hit the wall on pit road. He'll finish in 14th tonight, running top 3 most of the day. John Velocity, the final car in tonight's field, finishes in 15th. Well, let's work into our top 3 interviews now as we begin post-race coverage from the Kansas Speedway and wrap up our regular season for the Challenger Cup Series. We'll start first with the man who finished in the 3rd position tonight, led a lot of laps in this race, started up front, stayed up front, but had a pit road issue, had a wreck on lap 1. A more turbulent night than we're used to for Ryan Patty in the 30. He gets a 3rd-place finish out of it anyway, comes home with another podium, and his continued success here in Challenger Cup Series racing. We'll talk to him about tonight, talk to him about looking forward on the tracks left on the schedule, see how he feels about going forward into the last 5 weeks of the season as well. It's Ryan Patty in the 30 who finishes 3rd. Ryan, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
Well, led a lot of laps in this one. After, obviously, a lap 1 incident, you get tagged in turn 1 on the opening of the race. You manage to come back, get way ahead of the field. First and foremost, I think, is what happened on pit road that saw you get so far behind the 8 ball in the middle stages of the race. I thought penalty when I first saw the live look and the replay. Kind of take us through what happened there on that pit cycle.
Yeah, you got it right. Obviously had a pretty big lead there and just had to execute a clean pit stop and made a mistake. Just came in, I can't even say we came in too hot, but clipped the cone on the right-hand side. And at this track, if you even touch that cone on the entry to pit road, that's a 40-second hold. So pretty severe penalty for just nicking the cone there, but had to sit there and think about it for 40 seconds and then go back out and drive as fast as I could to maintain as much track position as possible. I was hoping for a caution there, but just didn't get it.
Well, look, nonetheless, you know, you can't say enough as we wrap the regular season, what you were able to do in the short time you've spent with us here in the Challenger Cup Series. 8 starts so far for you, 4 wins, 5 top 5s now, and 7 top 10s in your 8 starts. You know, speak to that success and how you've gotten to this point, and you know, reflect not only on tonight, obviously a 3rd-place finish for you. You know, I heard you talking about the track position there, but reflect on kind of the first 8 races of your Challenger Cup Series career as a series we get ready to turn the page to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, you know, really, really good talent in this league. We're hoping that more show up each week, especially as the seasons wind down. I know that can be tough to maintain attendance, but I mean, you go down the list here. There's a lot of fast guys. You know, obviously Harold taking the pole and getting the win tonight. Andrew, you know, really quick every week. Rusty, Travis Everett. I mean, look, you know, some guys that weren't here tonight. You're probably gonna see some other games next week at the road course. So it's pretty fun league to run in. Every other race, you know, I'm looking for a win where I can. But yeah, man, it's just a fun league, and you know, just hoping to have a pretty good wrap up to the season here while these guys battle it out for the championship.
Yeah, and look, real quick, a bit of a unique schedule here for the playoffs all over the place in terms of the tracks we go to. The Charlotte Roval, Talladega, Las Vegas, Martinsville, Phoenix. A few different styles of racing we're going to do in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So, take everybody through your game plan for those races as well real quick here on the way out.
What do we got next? The Roval. So that's not my best track. I mean, I'm decent at the road courses, but just never seem to really get a good handle on the Roval. So I may skip that. We'll see. But when you do the mile and a half, so you got Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta, right? Those are going to be a lot of fun, standard ovals. And then that second round there of round of 8 with Talladega and Martinsville, that's going to be absolute chaos. These guys at the playoffs, God help, because they're going to need it.
Well, tonight, third place finish for you at Kansas, another top 5 on your resume, and what's been an incredible start to your Challenger Cup Series career. So before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity on the way out the door. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, of course. Thanks everyone putting on the league. They do a good job keeping everyone up to date every week and maintaining things, keeping it organized. And appreciate you in the booth, calling the races and making it fun.
I appreciate your time talking to me here for a second. Congratulations again on the third place run tonight. Go enjoy it, go celebrate. We'll see if we see you here at the Roval coming next week.
Sounds good, Dawson. Take care.
Ryan Patty said may not be a big fan of the Charlotte Roval. We'll see if we see him in attendance next week for the playoff opener. Move now to the man who finished in second here tonight at Kansas, the man who will enter the playoffs second as well in the points. No, I'm dealing with some connection issues on Discord right now. It's not been debilitating to the point we can't hear what these guys are saying, but if it does get to that point, we'll address it. For now, we're going to keep on keeping on. It's Andrew Little that finishes second, enters the playoffs as the 2 seed in the 68. Andrew, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
I got you, bud. How you doing?
Well, not too bad. Look, a second place finish for you tonight at Kansas, and ironically, you're going to enter the playoffs as the 2 seed. So, obviously got to be feeling pretty good about the effort tonight at Kansas as you enter the playoffs. Had a fast, long-run car. Got to within where it looked like it might be a battle for a moment for the win. Still, second place, clean night. You got to be able to take that and be satisfied with the result here at Kansas.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I thought I had a shot there. I was hoping for the final pit stop that I was hoping that Harold maybe had, say, like that, just far enough where he could, like, maybe go one more lap or something, or a couple more laps. I was hoping to undercut him early enough, but, he was not going to take any chances. So came down, took those right side tires, and it actually loosened the car up quite a bit. So that felt nice. And then I had a little battle there with lap traffic. It kind of held me up just a minute, but I think Harold, just from the execution standpoint, had it. I don't think we had Ryan covered until he hit the cone. So I think Ryan, this was kind of his race to lose, and him making that mistake at pit road was pretty much the downfall for him. Otherwise, I think it was destined to be a second or third night for Harold or I. But we at least we were able to take advantage of that.
Well, it ends in a second place finish for you. You're going to leave the regular season now as the 2 seed in the playoffs, headed into the round of 16 starting next week. We'll give you a second. We'll ask about the playoffs in a second, but reflect on the regular season. Obviously, one win for you at Bristol a couple weeks ago. You're going to end with 6 top 5s and 11 top 10s. A really successful season. Reflect on the regular season as we kind of wrap it up here tonight in Kansas and look forward to the playoffs.
No, I guess it's actually been pretty good for me. I guess I didn't think I had that many top 5, so that's better than I was thinking. And it's always good to at least get one win. What was it? Was it Matt Kenseth that won a championship with only a single win? Maybe I'll try to do that.
Well, look, now we look forward to the playoffs, and obviously I just talked to Ryan about this. The schedule is a bit all over the place. We go from the Charlotte Roval to Las Vegas to Talladega Superspeedway to Martinsville, which is completely opposite. And then we go to Phoenix, a flat, mile-long oval. A lot of different driving styles in the playoffs, a very unique playoff schedule. What's your game plan to make a run and be there in Phoenix when we're crowning a champion?
Well, I'm gonna have to try to take advantage at the Roval. I'm not too bad there, so I'm gonna have to try to fight for a win. I think there, at least put myself in position to be a contender there. Harold's pretty good. Ryan will be good there. So I just got to put myself in position. And I don't know if the win isn't there, maybe look to advantage for stage points just to get myself a little bit further down the way, and then. Talladega's, you never know what can happen at Talladega. So there's that. And then I did get a win in the springtime at Martinsville this year. So I could see myself making it to Phoenix, but, I'm just going to basically try to drive smart and put myself in the best position I can to make it there. So check this out, though. Here's what's going to happen. Just to wrap this up quick again. Final season here. We're going to have our season 2 final 4. And then whoever is in the final 4 could be 6, it could be 8. We'll see how it works out. For the championship round, there will be a total 2025 champion as well. So that'll be a 4 or a however many person race off at Old Atlanta for the overall season championship. And what I'm really hoping to do is it would be great if like a 4th place finisher in the regular season or in one of the previous season ends up taking the overall championship, just to throw this thing completely haywire.
Well, looking forward to that. Obviously, a unique format coming up later, and what better place to end it than Old Atlanta as well. But look, tonight, second for you in Kansas. You lead the regular season second in the points. You'll be the 2 seed next week at the Charlotte Roval. So before we let you go and start to prep for that, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh, just, thanks to our members. You're doing a good job in the broadcast again. We've got some really good guys racing in the league here. And, our race control was having a little bit of trouble tonight, but he still was doing a good job watching your broadcast and giving us feedback of what was happening. So, even when the chips are down, he was helping us out. So, overall, just, thanks to my family upstairs. And thanks again to all the league admins and all the fellow racers.
Well, I appreciate the time and talking to me here for a second. Congratulations on the second place effort. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll see you next week for the playoff opener at the Roval.
Yep. Adios, bud. Thanks.
Andrew Little, the 68th second place finisher tonight in Kansas. And now we turn the man in Challenger Cup Series victory lane for the 3rd time in Season 2 and the 8th time in 2025. It's Harold Watkins in the 3. Making the trip to victory lane. He'll leave tonight as the regular season champ. Back-to-back regular season championships in the Challenger Cup Series as he starts his title run next week at the Roval. Get his thoughts on tonight. Let him reflect and also look forward as he tries to win a Challenger Cup Series championship in 2025. It's Harold Watkins, Challenger Cup Series victory lane. Harold, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dawson.
Well, look, tonight pretty uneventful, I would say, in terms of your night and really all the leaders for the most part, save for a couple penalties on pit road. You avoid some of the problems that others faced on pit road. Obviously, we saw Ryan Patty get a penalty. We saw the incident with Matt Hayden earlier in the race as well. Pit road, a dangerous place tonight, but not for you, not for the 3 teams so far, at least in this race. It ends up with a win. Take me through it. Pretty uneventful second half for you. You drive away. You fend off Andrew Little at the end. You get a victory, your 3rd of 2025.
Yeah, I just made sure to practice pit entry, pit exit extremely well because it was hairy. You saw a lot of people make the mistake because of that. And I wish I would have realized that taking 2 made the car that much better. And I wish I would have figured out sooner what Ryan was doing. I feel like I could have competed after I figured that out, because I just figured it out too late and he was gone if he didn't make a mistake. But luckily we didn't make that same mistake. So
well, now we head on from here. The regular season is over. Another really, really incredible season for you in terms of stats. 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 11 top 10s to end off your season here as we head into the playoffs. I've given the other 2 a chance. I do want to give you the same opportunity to kind of reflect on the regular season. I talked a little bit earlier about kind of the start to the season. I don't think it's definitely not what I expected to see. But once you won at Iowa, it felt like you really kicked things in gear. Take a second, reflect on this second season in 2025 as we get ready to turn the page to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I just found a lot of consistency, honestly, and finally figured out the new tire model in terms of qualifying. That's what really, I think, turned things around for me. Instead of being in the back or middle of the pack, I was able to be out front, and that's definitely a help with the way that the tire model works and the way that the aero model works. So, I mean, that was, again, the big thing that flipped it, and 3 wins. You can't really be too mad about that. I think I finished second quite a few times too, so that number could have been higher, and could have done better in terms of getting stage wins too. I think I finished second in stage multiple times. So, I mean, points were in playoff points were right there for the taking, and I just started executing better as the regular season went on.
Well, regular season championship for you again. Won it back in season 1 of this year. You win it here again in season 2. So now we turn the page again to the playoffs, and we remember from season 1 how badly you wanted to finish off the season with a championship. I know the goal is obviously the same this year. The track's a little bit tougher this time around, though, in terms of the styles of racing we're going to do. The Charlotte Roval next week, of course, gets us started. Las Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, Phoenix. It's a lot of different driving styles. It's a lot of potential for chaos. How are you going to navigate that to give yourself a spot at Phoenix and a chance to win a Challenger Cup Series championship?
I mean, to me, the Roval is really the only thing that I see as a gigantic challenge. So, I think the other tracks really suit my driving style, and I'll have a pretty good run at the other ones. I like road racing. I think I can be a top 5 car, but I know I'm probably not going to compete for the win. But that's where the regular season championship and getting those wins come into play, where I get that cushion. So now I can just kind of be aggressive. I'll have, I don't know, like good 33 playoff points to my advantage. So, I mean, that's basically a race if you think about it in terms of how points kind of play out in this league. So just use that to my advantage, try to stack up some more wins so we can stack some more playoff points going into each round, and get over the hump. I mean, a regular season championship's great, but now we got to set our focus on getting that season championship.
A good start tonight, obviously, towards that, clinching the regular season title, obviously giving yourself a points cushion headed into next week at the Roval. But a win for you tonight, your 3rd of the season, so while you're in victory lane, do want to give you another opportunity. Are there any thank yous or shout-outs you'd like to give here as we wrap the regular season?
Yeah, shout out to you up in the booth. Looking forward to watching this one back and seeing how the race unfolded. Shout out to everyone at Challenger that does a lot of work to make sure that this league's a great league. Thanks to everyone in the league. We're a clean group, and I think the beginning of the race didn't quite reflect how we ran at the back end of the race, but you see that we could really get those green flag runs going. So, and then thanks to Matt Hayden, he was kind of helping me out after he left the race, just let me know kind of what was going on, so I can make my strategy calls there to win the race. So shout out to him.
Well, appreciate your time and talking to me here for a second. Congratulations on the victory tonight at Kansas. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will see you next week to open the playoffs, the Charlotte Roval.
Thank you, Dawson.
Harold Watkins in the 3 in victory lane for the 3rd time in this second season in 2025. We'll start to wrap our coverage now from Kansas Speedway. The regular season is over. We're headed playoff racing in Challenger Cup Series competition in 2025 for the final time. Again, 5 races will make up the playoffs here for Season 2. Then there will be a special additional race with as many as 8 cars up for what I'm calling the Challenger Cup Series Grand Championship. I think you heard Andrew Little call it the Season Championship or the 2025 Overall Championship. I'm going to continue to call it the Grand Championship. It's got a bit of a ring to it in terms of what we can call it. But no matter what you call it, we're going playoff racing, and only 6 races remain in 2025. And then we're going to take a break and enjoy the offseason and get ready to go in 2026. But we still have business to be attended to. We'll give you the schedule coming up for the week ahead for PGR eSports, and of course including Challenger Cup Series action. And then, of course, I'll give you my prospective schedule as of right now in terms of what I'm going to be on the call for over the next week. We'll start, of course, with Challenger Cup Series racing. We'll be back next Tuesday night, October the 7th, from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Roval as we open the Season 2 playoffs. And the only way we know how, road racing going to open the postseason for the first time in Challenger Cup Series competition. So that should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to getting out there. The Roval is chaotic as it can be in racing, so I can't wait to see what unfolds there as we get our first dose of playoff action. And, of course, we'll go on from there. I'll give you the rest of the schedule as we go. But Charlotte Roval next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Looking forward for PGR eSports Thursday night. It's going to be the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series. As of now, to be determined is the car track combo as of right now, but there will be racing at around 10:20 Eastern Time on Thursday night. And they'll take you through all the action there on Thursday. And then the next thing up for PGR is going to be next Monday night with the VRX Light Series for PGR Racing as they head to the ARCA Menard Series cars at Iowa Speedway. You won't want to miss that one. That would be a lot of fun. I will not get to race it. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town, but I'm hoping they carry the banner well over for the Light Series. It's going to be a lot of fun on the PGR eSports Network. Of course, we're back next Tuesday night for Challenger Cup Series in the week ahead. Tomorrow night, I will likely be on the call again for the OB Builders Cup Series for Moonshiners Racing League. The playoffs continue with a trip here to Kansas Speedway. Likely going to be on the call. We'll see. Still a little bit to be determined, but hoping to be on the call tomorrow night for that one from Kansas. And then that is going to be it for my schedule. We'll bring it back. A brief disconnection there. But nonetheless, that's going to all but wrap up our coverage from Kansas Speedway. The regular season concludes tonight in Race 14. Next time we see you, we will be playoff racing in the Challenger Cup Series. Next Tuesday night, it's the Charlotte Roval with 8:30 p.m. green flag time as we head lefts and rights for the first race of the playoffs. Tonight, though, in Kansas, Harold Watkins gets away with his third win of the season and is the regular season champion for the Challenger Cup Series in Season 2 of 2025. My name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching PGR eSports. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, participating in tonight's stream. Certainly hope you enjoyed what you saw tonight. If you did, come back next week and let's go playoff racing.